Hi there, my name's Brandon Bradford, known as Blitzkrieg Toys. I make toys under the Blitzkrieg Toys moniker. And here is my current top 10 toys that I have in my collection. And number 10 is Mutant Vinyl Hardcore Berserker, sculpted by Mutant Vinyl Hardcore, designed by Mutant Vinyl Hardcore, but this one is actually painted by my good friend Paul Kaiju. I love Paul's approach to painting. His color theory is awesome. His use of metallics and stuff is second to none. I think this is painted on fluorescent pink blank. I just love the textures that Rich put into this figure. It is, you know, one of my favorites as far as modern toy making. I love the design aesthetic, super cool. Anyways, number 10. Okay, coming in at number 9 is a Paul Kaiju character named the Chimera. This is a one-off from the Stranger Factory shows he used to do in Albuquerque. This kind of embodies a lot of Paul's creative energy with the sculpt and the additions of like the antler horns and like the sleepy doll eyes and the boobs. I mean, it kind of has all Paul's imagination and creativity. It really sums it up in this toy, and I really like it for like what it represents to me. Paul as a maker and a creator kind of sums it up in the Chimera toy. Coming in at number 8 is the 70s era Bandai Kamen Rider Spider-Man. I mean, all of those tokusatsu villains are awesome. I mean, but I do feel like Spider-Man embodies one of the best as far as design of the character. Super cool. I was lucky to get him a few years ago. He has sort of a homemade, non-original cape, but the rest of him is pretty original. And he's in super great condition. Yeah, he's a cool character design, and just lucky enough to have him, and super cool. In at number 7 is the Maru Thriller Series model kit, Walking Hand. This whole series is, you know, a lot of fun. There's the Walking Hand, obviously the Walking Neck, and the Walking Skull in that series. They all have really cool artwork, from the fully painted ones to this red series, which I have, and that whole line is really awesome and highly recommended for their artwork and the way it's packaged and everything. Again, just a super fun toy. Yeah, it's the Walking Hand by Maru. In at number 6, we have Daimon, made by M1. It's one of the only original characters created for the Spook Warfare movie. The rest of them are all Japanese, like folklore, mythological characters. So this is one of the only ones that was actually created for the film, and super cool and classic, like M1 Bullmark style. I mean, immaculate paint. I mean, this one I got quite a few years ago. Yuji from M1 painted this one off for me, so it's really special. It means a lot. It's painted on like a black blank, but painted in super nice metallics. Again, you know, Yuji from M1's one of the best, and to have a one-off from him of this character really means a lot to me, and it's super special in my collection. This is some of my like Forsaken toy collection, which these are toys that I got in Japan from a guy I know that's out hunting and collecting, and I'm assuming this came out of probably a box in a garage somewhere that was somewhat, you know, their son's toys, or maybe it was the son's going through his parents' house finding some of his old toys from when he was a kid. But I'm assuming this was smashed, you know, with like books or papers. But it's so much love and so much soul in this thing. I mean, you can clearly tell by like the wear on it and everything. It's just had a lot of love, and somebody played with this thing. It wasn't a, you know, it wasn't just a shelf toy. Somebody really played with this, and I love the soul and the story of these versions, in addition to, you know, immaculate pieces that are out there. I like I have a fondness for these ones that are kind of beat up and have seen a lot of action. And same with this guy as well. I mean, I don't know if you can kind of see, but it smells like a barbecue. I don't know if this was on a mantle somewhere, but it says this black char and sort of like baked quality to it, and it's super unique and rare, and I like what it is and what it represents. It probably doesn't mean that much to super collectors, but to me, I think the story and how this got to be this way is what makes this piece interesting, and what makes sort of finding these sort of beat up, you know, smashed up, sort of unperfect toys interesting to me. I guess maybe it comes from all my years of swap meet hunting and digging through bins and finding like gold and treasure as a kid and not having a lot of money to spend on it, so you kind of work with what you got. But these just kind of remind me of that like root of collecting and what makes things unique and interesting. Number 4, this is an Exohead Zolman character. I believe his name is Reburstron. I don't really know much of the story behind it, but it has two of the things that I love a lot. You know, like a classic like kaiju monster body with this sort of zombified like skeleton head. And you know, I'm inspired by this toy a lot. I kind of designed a toy somewhat similar that's recently come out called the Doombringer that has similar elements of sort of like a skull head with like a kaiju body. So kind of taking a lot of inspiration from this design. And I mean, I love this sort of like cream ivory base and these sort of muted colors, but it really works in this with like the light blues in it and sort of the classic greens. It's not as poppy and bright as others, but I feel like it's a really cool take to kind of paint a little more like model kit realistic for some of the stuff. I mean, I love the metallics and the brights, but then to have something that looks a little more like a movie ready sort of design or paint scheme is also, you know, super interesting. All right, here we go. We're getting into the top 3. Coming at number 3, this is also Exohead Zolman character, styled after the old Pachi illustration. His name is Golan. He sort of has like a arachnid, like alien sort of mantis sort of body with like claw hands. And again, the theme you'll see is he also has a skull head, which is a kind of a reoccurring theme on a lot of the toys that I like to make, as well as toys I like to collect. So this kind of again embodies a lot of that. I've taken a lot of inspiration from this character for some of the toys that I've made, and this one's really special because a few years back I got to work with Zolman on collaborating with this sort of colorway, so I was able to kind of pick some of the base vinyl color elements for him to do his sprays on. So this one means a lot because this is a Creature Bazaar collaboration that we were able to do a few years ago, and to work with a legendary toy maker like that, you know, super special and one of my favorite characters. As you can see, I have quite a few of them in my collection, so to get to do that with him was, you know, really cool. All right, coming in at number 2 is the Bandai Jumbo Ninja Arashi Majinsai villain character from that show. It's like 70s era, probably one of the top 2 or 3 Grail vintage toys that I've wanted for a long time. There's only a couple other out there that really are on that list of like, I really want an example of that. And a few years ago, I was fortunate enough to be able to find one. I'm not so much concerned about mint in the bag, but this is the version that I found, and I was lucky enough to nab him, and he has all the elements, you know, the medieval armor, the skull face. It's just a super awesome toy. And I don't know, there's something about the jumbos too that hit differently. The size and the scale of them just makes them sort of extra special and cool to me, and super stoked to have a Grail piece like this in my collection. All right, coming in at number 1, we have the Kuman, designed by Dennis over at Huma-Huma Toy. I'm really fortunate to have quite a collection of Kumans. I've been friends with Dennis. He's been one of my best friends for a lot of years now, and so I've been able to collect a lot of rare and weird Kumans over the years. Probably have over 100 in my collection, which I don't know if that's how many else are out there, but I feel like I have a pretty nice collection of his figures, and I love everything about the design and the form and function. It looks great painted, it looks great blank, it looks awesome marbled, and you know, for those you know Dennis's work out there, he's one of the best marblers in the business, and he just experiments with a lot of his toys on pushing marbling techniques and things that work and don't. So I was fortunate to have a lot of awesome representations of his work there, and yeah, it's the number one. It's the best, and made by one of the best guys out there. This is probably the last one I got. We were playing around with some marbling when I was at his house, and this is one of the byproducts, and super stoked on our friendship and our relationship, and be able to share with you my favorite toy in my collection. Okay, this here is my honorable mention. Doesn't make it into my top 10 because it's actually not my toy, but it's the soft vinyl version of the Walking Neck. It inspired my new like severed head yokai head toy, and this toy is just super cool, awesome, and it's basically a walking severed head. I'm assuming like a samurai head or whatever, but this belongs to my buddy Michael. I do need one in my life, so if you have one out there, hit me up.
Show's over. Come back tomorrow.